Hey everybody, and welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Flynn. We'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land in which we meet today and pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Hi to everybody checking it out on YouTube. I can see a couple people in there. If you want to join our live chat today, jump over to behance.net/live. Find the Jappy video and you'll be hanging out with us. Great to see Joanna Festus in the chat there. So jump on over, say hello. But yeah, we are here with Jappy. I've got your titles down. So Happy Jappy, the Thriller from Manila, Floats Like a Butterfly, Stings Like a Bee, Thor Ragnarok, Agoncillo. So here he is. What's up, man?
Hey, that was a really long intro. During my ring walk, it's gonna be a mouthful for the announcer, but I'll take it.
You'll get to the ring like before the announcer's like finished. Just be standing there going, yeah.
But I'll take it. I'll write that down and I'll use that someday if it ever happens.
It's all yours, man. Yeah, that was some of the fun that we had on Tuesday session. So 2 days ago, we hung out for part one. So if you guys missed that and you want to check it out, this is a continuation from there. But don't worry, we'll give you a quick little recap on what we did. So Jappy started with Photoshop on the iPad. And today we're focusing on bringing that artwork in from the iPad and bring it over into the desktop to utilize some of the extra features that Photoshop on the desktop obviously has. It's a beast. There's a lot under the hood there. And we're going to be, I think adding some textures, like brightening things up, having a little bit of a play around here on Adobe Live. For regular viewers of Adobe Live, I'm using a different camera today. So you can see a little bit more of what's going on in the background. So there you go, a little treat behind the scenes of what we have here. But yeah, Jappy, do you want to maybe take over from here and just let us know like a little bit about, what we did last time and kind of what we're going to do today? I'll share your desktop while we do it.
Okay, cool.
Right.
Okay. Hey everyone. So last time on last Tuesday, we basically went through the whole process of creating a mural digitally and how to really draw onto a real life photo and make it look like, the artwork is part of the photo. So a digital mural. So if you're looking at my screen, or you're looking at your screen, it's the tiger riding the truck of ramen. So I'll show you guys again the original photo. And then, so this was the photo I chose from the Your World, Your Canvas campaign. And this is a photo from Hong Kong. And so I drew over it, and this is the final result. We only got up to the sketching, the line work, and some of the colors last time. So we're going to pick up where we left off. But before that, so last time I was on the iPad. So it was Photoshop for iPad. So the reason why I prefer to draw on Photoshop for iPad is because of the intuitiveness. Of course, drawing on paper is much easier than, drawing with your hands is much easier than using a mouse. And so I thought if there was an iPad app for it, why not? And that's what I chose. And of course, there's like graphics tablets, drawing tablets you can use, which I will get to in a bit. So I'm going to show you how exactly I put it on. Basically, when you're drawing anything on the iPad on Photoshop, it's automatically saved to the cloud, the Creative Cloud. So actually, when you open this, it's already there. All you have to do is go to your home page. Those are some of the other pieces I've done on the iPad. Go to Cloud Documents, and it's right here. And anything
nice.
you can literally make the artwork on the iPad and see the file change on Photoshop. So it's really that automatic.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Actually, no joke, one of my favorite parts of Photoshop. I didn't even know it existed until I did the iPad for the first time. I thought that is so convenient.
It is pretty convenient. Yeah. I mean, I remember showing my age, but I remember back in the day, like, having to like save things to USBs and like unplug them and get a little warning like, hey, you shouldn't have just pulled this out. And then plugging it into something else and like loading everything up and then putting it on desktop and picking up, moving it again.
I mean now there's a AirDrop if you're from Mac, you have an Apple kind of environment, but I used a Windows laptop, so it's a lot tougher, but this really helps. So there.
Nice.
Right now I am actually, if you're see I'm holding the Apple Pencil, it's actually because I'm using my iPad as a drawing tablet. But it is on my desktop. I use an app called Easy Canvas. You can totally check it out on the app store. It turns your iPad into a tablet, so you don't have to switch over to a computer and have a separate, like a Wacom or a Huion or anything. Just go back to your iPad and use that. There. I really like the app. They're not sponsoring me. I'm just telling you, it's a really cool app. Because again, it's so tough to use a mouse. So when I get to the desktop, I still want to use a pen. Anyway,
yeah, and you were talking a little bit in your workflow, for those that missed it, that you do a lot of your sketching on like physical paper as well.
Yeah.
So it's obviously it's quite interesting, that process of like drawing, sketching out on a notepad, like quick sketches to get kind of the composition and ideas out of your head, and then moving on to the iPad to kind of sketch up, and then you kind of slowly finalizing the piece as we go. And here we get into the desktop, and we can see the awesome tiger that is. Do you ever name this tiger? That's one of the questions I meant to ask you last time.
No, I have I called it Ramen Tiger on the file just because that's all I know. So yeah, hold on. Sorry, my door was open. But yeah, I call it Ramen Tiger, but one day I'll have a name for it because I just created it, but it's pretty self-explanatory.
All right.
So there. So yeah, I think we should get straight to it.
Let's do it.
Where did we leave off last time? We had the colors on, so let me turn off some of the final pieces there. And that's the color palette, which I don't. Lines. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead. I really love answering, even mostly the weird ones are actually super fun to answer.
We had a lot of fun on Tuesday with some of Jappy's tattoos as well. We spoke about 2 of them. There might be more, so could ask questions about that. I'd be interested to hear some name ideas for Ramen Tiger.
Especially if you guys had suggestions that are pretty cool, I'll use it, and I'll even credit you guys if you want when I post this.
Nice.
So there. I think this is pretty much it. There we go. So last time we only got to finish most of these colors, mostly because we ran out of time. So that was fun actually. So we're gonna get into shading. So right now it doesn't seem very 3D, which is really the point. You want it to feel like it's a part of the world. Right now, not such yet, but we're gonna get to that. Oh, that's wrong. Where is that? Shadows. There we go. Okay. So the way you want to incorporate an artwork into a real piece is to use the layering, like I was saying on Tuesday. You're gonna want to use a lot of your shadows to make it look like it's 3D, like it's part of the world. So we're gonna do that now. There we go. So these are the shadows I already drew, but I'll show you the trick on how to do it in a bit. So let me fix the opacity of that. And we're gonna draw over it. Again, I said this last time, but sorry, I'm just drawing over what I already drew, but to save time, we have to do this.
That's the way we gotta do it.
It's fine. No one's gonna know. So I just pick a brush. So it's not like on an iPad where the brushes are limited. Here you can import the brushes, any brush you want. I use the Kyle brushes actually, which are very popular on here.
The Carl T. Webster bingo. That's what we play on Adobe Live, because like so many artists will come on and be like, I just use the Kyle brushes.
They are like, you don't really need much else. They're really great. I use mostly the inks, the wet media brushes. There we go. I think I usually use this. So there. So when you're doing shadows, especially for a 3D type of piece, you want to establish your light source. So everything will follow the light source. You can't have multiple angles of shadows. It won't look cohesive. So you're gonna want a light source. So mostly I just pick like an above light source, just from the top, slightly to the left, slightly to the right. So as you can see, the shadows on the tiger are mostly from above. The only things that are shadowed are the ones underneath things or low, like here in the pants,
Right.
where it's not really exposed, or here in the creases of the sleeves. So again, with this one, with the 3D elements, like these noodles coming out of the truck, you want it to look like they're coming out of the truck, you're gonna have to draw more 3D shadows. So let me fix my screen. There we go.
Do you think about that like during the sketching process, or do you wait until you get to this point and you're like, oh yeah, cool, it's going to come from the left or it's going to come from the right, or are you already thinking about that?
No, I don't think about the shadows at first, unless it really needs to have shadows. But for me, when it comes to just drawing these just for fun, I draw the shadows after, like, okay, time for shadows. Where would they go? Because they're not, the art piece doesn't depend on having the shadows. Like the design of it doesn't depend on having the shadows. It's only after where you're like, okay, time to 3D-ify this or make it more dimensional. And then you think about where to put it.
Cool.
So like this. So some of these noodles are flying in the wind. So the direction of the truck is like going this way. So you can't have the shadows touching. So, you know, the farther you are from the object, the shadow would be proportionally far. They were touching the truck, like this arm here. The arm is touching the truck. So you're going to want the shadow real close up. Like so. Cool.
Nice. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How do you like learn about that other than like kind of trial and error? Like, is that just being kind of observant to like the world around you, or like, is that something you picked up over the time, or is it like an intrinsic kind of thing that you kind of know? Or
I think it's both type of thing that you learn as you go. Like, okay, and you have to observe how shadows work, because again, like last time I said, I am slightly traditionally trained in figure drawing, which figure drawing does not only have anatomy, but also like the way light works, the way light plays on the body. So I think I picked it up also from there, how light would play on a curved surface, or like on hair or on faces or anything like that. So I picked it up from there. And also comic books, they're heavy shadow use over there, especially Batman comics, really dark comics. So I just learned where shadows go, you know.
Yeah, Batman's silhouette like coming at you like in the alleyway is like the classic like DC thing, right?
There's a lot of shadows in there, so you really just pick up, okay, that's how this artist would use the shadows and all that.
Yeah.
So like for this this piece of, I would say broth, I don't know what to call it. It's pretty much sticking to the truck, so the shadows are real close, real tight.
Yeah. That's cool. That makes sense.
And then to really, so it looks a little 3D-ish now, but it's a little too intense. So you're gonna want to fix the opacity on that. So I did, and then the shadows aren't like completely black, depending on the time of day, right? So it looks like mid-afternoon, so the shadows would be a little lighter. It's still there, and there you go. Really quick and easy way to get things to look like they're 3D-ish.
Cool. I like it. Hey, I'm going to check in with chat. We got a couple of questions.
Okay.
We'll just get weird straight away. Jan's got a weird question. If you could choose one superpower that you absolutely do not want, what would it be?
That is a great one. I've never heard that one before. It's usually like what you want, right? Like
right.
Power you want the most. Ooh. There's so many weird ones you could go, like super. I wouldn't want super smell.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't imagine like having to smell everything and you wouldn't know what's there.
Oh, so that's good.
Imagine, you activate, it's not like super hearing or super sight. Super sight, you can see through walls, okay, that's fine. But super smell, imagine going to a place and then just sniffing and it's everything.
Oh man, you win. That was quick. I can't think of anything worse than that.
Super fast bowel movements, it's probably not like that. That's probably something I'll never want. Um, or something like that. Like there are a lot of weird ones on the internet that you probably wouldn't want.
Oh my gosh.
That is a good question.
I've been thinking about super smell like all day now.
Like if you smell something and then you imagine, what if I had super smell and I smelled that? That doesn't sound fun at all.
Oh man. Got another one. If you could cast anyone, could be an actor or an athlete, whoever, to voice Ramen Tiger, who would you cast and why?
Ooh. Okay, that's tough because I have my favorite actors, and you guys are probably thinking, "Oh, that's Chris Hemsworth." Hey, you know what? Why not? Chris Hemsworth can do really well. Or like a Chris Pratt type, like a very tough but funny type of voice. I think that would be well. Yeah, I think like a Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth type of thing.
Nice.
Would do really nice.
For some reason, I think I get like a Jack Black kind of vibe as well.
That's the complete opposite of the guys I just gave. Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, they're Marvel superheroes. No, we're thinking more Jack Black. Okay, I'll take it.
There's some more questions in there as well, which we'll get to. Jessica's asking, where do you get the image from? Johanna will share a link to that. So this is part of Your World, Your Canvas campaign that's happening at the moment. If you're in Asia Pacific as well, there's a competition attached to it where you can win all sorts of prizes. There's cash and Creative Cloud subscriptions and things like that. So definitely check that out. But anyone can get involved. This photo from Hong Kong? I think this particular one.
Yeah, this one's the Hong Kong photo. I just thought I love the vibe of it. The urban mess of it. It's pretty great. I love it.
Yeah, and you guys can download these images. There's images from all around Asia Pacific. So I think there's a Singapore one. There's definitely a Sydney one. Obviously, a Hong Kong one is the one that we're working on today. And have a go at that and share it with us. There's a hashtag attached to it as well, which we showed in the previous stream. You can see Jappy's contribution there as well, which is awesome. Also with the tiger. This is a much more cartoonish version, right? So you get to draw this tiger in like different ways, because the other one looks like, it reminded me, I don't think I brought it up in the last stream, but it reminds me of Onizuka Tiger, you know, the shoes. Like it reminded me quite a lot of that kind of brand.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
But yeah, I think you said you done some stuff with Tiger Beer and things like that as well. This is a much more cartoonish version. He's chill. He's having a good time.
Okay. I'm losing where I'm at right now. Okay, we're gonna go straight into shading the character. So he's a little 2D. I'm just for the colors, in coloring, like it's a little 2D. So I'm gonna open up this file here, this layer, and then the secret to really shading, which gives a lot of depth, is just pick this color. It's a really simple trick I use anyway. So just normally choose the color you want. So let's shade in the oranges of the tiger, and just go a half step darker. Or not, that's too much of a step. Let me expand this. Go a half step darker on the color, and you're good to go. Like people will automatically see that. If I open there, because you want again the color to have a realistic, you know, that would be the realistic shade color of it. So I'm just gonna start shading this to some of his features. And because he's a cartoon, it doesn't really have to follow normal physics, you know, but you can play as fun as you want with the shading. It just adds more detail, adds more depth to a character. And we're going to add textures later, so it might not be super perfect. We'll try to get it right.
Cool.
Yeah, I usually would add like shading to a lot of the lines. You can follow the lighting cue I gave earlier. Not completely necessary, but you can totally follow that. We're just going to go really fast and quick with this one. So you have a ready-made shaded layer waiting in the wings.
Nice. I haven't seen very many ideas for the tiger. You guys, chat, help us out.
The name.
Johanna said, "I'll nominate Idris Elba for the Ramen Tiger." So is that for the voice?
That is a great voice. That is a cool. Great voice. Or just get Jack Black. Fine, his name is Jack Black. Just for you.
Just an idea, all right? I'm not married to it. It's all good.
It's just funny. I was thinking, oh, cool, tough guy. Nope, Jack Black. Another color here, and again, same trick. Half step darker. Too little of a step. There we go.
Nice. And for those that missed it as well, something really cool that Jappy did with this mural in his sketch is actually drew like all of the outline underneath and behind. Like how would he be sitting with his feet up like this? So even though we don't see it, it's kind of thought through. Like how would the tiger sort of sit if he was chilling out? Like where would his butt be? Where would his legs be for his arm to be there to get the proportions right? So even though we don't see it in the final version, it helps kind of create like a more realistic kind of situation, which I think is a really cool tip for us to do. I could see myself very easily just going, yeah, I'll just draw this leg and then this leg and you know, it probably sits like this, but it probably wouldn't proportionally look right.
Let me try to find that actually. I think I deleted it already. Hold on. Because I love teaching people the anatomy of things. Are they getting things right? Oh yeah, there we go. You can see here, you can see the pretty much just a really skeletal sketch of what he would look like if he was inside the truck. So you want it to look realistic the way he's positioned. So people don't question, is he inside the truck or not? How would his back curve like this, which would translate to how his legs would pop out like this. So it all comes out making sense. And that's one of the, oh, what did I do? Whoops. That's one of the things I like the most about drawing characters is making the pieces make sense, because you know, people can see that. Maybe they'll never be able to tell what's exactly wrong with it, but sometimes they can feel like there's something amiss with some artworks.
Yeah.
And if you want to really fix the anatomy, that would help lessen that type of reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's just my take on it. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking that like you might not know that there's something wrong with something, but it just doesn't kind of sit right for whatever reason. Like you might just look at something, especially if you think of something like Instagram or someone's website, like generally speaking, you're looking at it for like 3 seconds or something before you're like scrolling down to the next thing, right? Like even if you like it. And so you really only have like a short amount of time, and you can feel like a lot of the stuff will be subliminal, like whether or not you really know why you don't particularly like that, or it doesn't look quite fleshed out or whatever.
They'll see like there's something a little fishy with this. You want to keep things. Yeah. So that would be the general process of the shading, but at the end it should look more like this. So this is the pre-shaded version. Shading, yeah. Here we go. Okay. So everything looks a little more depth. Yeah, that word. I'm just losing it right now. With the details, and so he's looking a little more fleshed out as a character. So now we're going to try to make the world as 3D as possible. So I drew in these little shapes. Now you can do whatever you want. I'm doing this part, like these shapes, to help show how you can play with the layers and how you can, again, create depth using the layers of the photo. With any of the photos in the campaign, actually, you can really play around with how things are behind buildings or behind the trains or behind elements to really make it look like the world is popping at you. So let me get these color fields. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, that was like a really good point you made in the last like session. Like, kind of, you know,
yeah.
it's a mural, and obviously you're drawn to kind of just draw on the truck, but like you're creating this whole environment. Like the whole artwork is the canvas. It's not just the side of the truck, and like
exactly
makes it look like there's all sorts of exciting stuff happening around the corner.
If we remove these, yes, it's like okay, surreal. That's kind of crazy. But I like having the whole world kind of play into the artwork. I'm kind of a maximalist when it comes to work, so I like having the environment play around with it. So
yeah, nice.
Let me mess some of this up so I can actually show you guys how I did it. So mess it up on purpose.
Keep the tiger names coming in. There's some great suggestions there. We'll jump into those in a bit.
Okay. Let me mess this up just for fun, and I'll show you guys how to subtract that and make the world 3D. I'm kind of scared now that I won't be able to fix these.
Playing a dangerous game.
This is a gamble. I embarrassed myself on Adobe Live. Oh, okay. There we go. So that's some of the stuff. Again, so now it looks a little messy, like it's over the cars, or it's over the buildings, it's over this and that. So what I like to do is get so you can actually just draw. Again, when you're drawing these things, you want to draw over if you're drawing something behind something, draw over it and then subtract after, because people can tell if, let's say, let me try on this. If you draw as close as possible, yes, you can. If you have the skill level to do that, that'd be great. But people can tell when there are small gaps. At least me, I'm very kind of a detail crazy person. So I can tell when there are small gaps, like, okay, they definitely drew this with the gaps without thinking about the gaps. So
yeah,
what you want to do is draw over it and then edit it in the future, and down the line you can edit it, because it is Photoshop. You can really do that, or any drawing app can really do that. You can just fix the opacity and then either erase, or what I'm going to do is select. Get the select tool, lasso. Oh, wrong one. Here we go.
Just the freehand lasso tool.
Well, sometimes I find that easier, sometimes I don't. So let's say with this corner, really quick, draw the line there. Whoop. Okay. Photoshop won't let me do that, so I'm just gonna do this. There's a corner. Follow the lasso around like this, or you're selecting the piece you want to delete, the whole thing. Then erase, and that's it. This. So nice. When you deselect, you open the opacity. It looks contoured to that area, and it looks a little more behind, right? And you can put shadows also there, which we can do later. Actually, I'll just do it now. Oops. So if you press Control and then select the layer, actually, it selects everything in that layer. That's something I learned really recently. Yeah. So you can get a brush, and then again, like a shadow tone. Fix the opacity of the brush a little low, and then just draw over it. This. Fix the opacity a little more.
That's cool. So to get the different shading of the color, you just color pick the color, and then turn the opacity down, then go over it a couple of times. And because it's an opacity, you know, you go over it twice, and then suddenly it's gone from 25% to 50% and then 75%. So it's like really fast way to work.
Yeah. Or you could kind of do more of a gradient type of thing. So get the flow really low. Obviously, I'm doing this really fast and quick and dirty, but it looks a little more like 3D-ish. When you come back from afar, it looks like it's really behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the rest of these shapes, and then we're gonna texture. Get rid of that first. Okay.
Cool. I'm gonna jump in, check in with chat again. Let's see. Got a lot of name suggestions. So if you're joining us, naming the tiger, who is like features in so many of Jappy's artwork, yet he's unnamed. He, she, they. Haven't decided that yet either. So we've got Loungin' Louie.
Loungin' Louie.
Gourmet Gangster. Felix the Foodie. Jappy Nagy.
Oh, that was I kind of like that one.
Nice. Tone Locky we have as well. Alan Steiger. Okay. Alan Steiger. Alex Mills in the chat. What's up, Alex? Great to see you.
Oh, hey.
Very obscure Australian TV soap reference that only people in the UK really watch. Is it Neighbours or Home and Away? Oh man, going over my head, Alex. Take your word for it. Have you ever? So John has a question as well. So you don't use? Do you ever use masks, like clipping masks or anything like that in your artwork, or you avoid them?
I do when I absolutely need to, but I find it very difficult to use. I'm so sorry.
No, that's all right. We're here to learn about your style and like the way that you do things. There's no right way.
I mean, I would learn and then I'd forget because it's weirdly complicated for me anyway. Like, or maybe I just don't understand the mechanics of a clipping mask yet. Oh, this is tough.
Picked like a really hard like wall to cut out there.
Yeah, it's the air conditioning units. Also, the iPad's picking up my hand, so I'll be careful.
Right.
You click on it.
New Zealand is a big fan of Neighbours too. Is it? I didn't know that. So yeah, it was from Neighbours. There you go.
Is that a good show?
No. I shouldn't say that. Neighbours was the show. It's not for me. Neighbours was the show that was on before The Simpsons in Australia. Like for my.
That's a cartoon show?
No, it's like a soap opera about kids in high school and stuff.
Okay.
And I always watched like the last 5 minutes when I was a kid growing up because The Simpsons were on immediately afterwards. So I'd like catch the end of the drama thing. So I'd always have like a vague idea what was going on because you'd be there for the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess part of Australian life and UK and New Zealand life apparently. There you go.
Put that out.
I shouldn't say it's not good. If you like Neighbours and Home Away, it's totally fine. We're cool. You're fine with me. So in here when you're grabbing, so yeah, using like different versions of the lasso tool, you're using the polyagonal,
yeah,
whatever lasso before, and this one's a bit more freehand because it's a more curved shape.
Yeah. I'll use the magnetic one. So there is the magnetic lasso tool which just follows whatever line, but with a cityscape this complex, it might pick up different lines and you just get really frustrated. So rather just freehand it a bit. There. So got everything selected and then really just subtract it, just erase it basically. So it's drawing by subtraction. I learned that with Illustrator and I'm putting it into my Photoshop practice.
Nice.
There you go. So yeah, it's a little dirty. You guys will notice like there's still gaps. But again, I'm doing this fast and quick for the live. But yeah, so that would be how you would layer a piece on Photoshop just to get all the different behind the building stuff, behind trees, behind anything, and get it to look really 3D. I'm gonna do the same thing here. Actually, forgot to do that here because he's over the truck, and you really want to see him, the tiger behind it. So we're gonna do that right now. Where's the pants layer? This one. Okay.
I missed a question before from Bruce. Hello, everyone. Super cool style. Is the whole background going to be the mural? Yeah, so it's like a digital mural. So obviously with the digital mural, something really cool that Jappy spoke about was they're kind of set up so that you can just do your mural on the side of the truck. So the it's been edited, I assume, so that there's like a blank canvas on the truck, and then you can kind of do stuff in there. But Jappy's just like using the entire like JPEG, like the entire thing, to bring the whole thing to life, which is really cool, and it makes sense. Something really cool.
This is the original photo, right? So it kind of lets you think this is the canvas right here. But I always try to think outside the box. So this one's literally outside the truck.
Outside the truck.
Because you can really do a lot of stuff. Okay, so now we got the depth down. Everything's behind like different layers, different buildings, and it feels like there's things around the corner, which is what I want. I'm going to texture some of the lines. So signature part of my work, if you guys check out my Instagram or my website, are halftones and little grain textures. I picked that up because we always talk about this. I always talk about this anyway. I love comic books, especially the old style comic books with Jack Kirby, and a lot of heavy line work, but also a lot of use of halftones, dots, and textures. And I think that really adds both a retro and nostalgic take to an artwork, and also more, a little bit more depth, a little bit more finesse. When it's textured, it's not just the line work. It really looks like it's well thought out, really well detailed if it's textured. I'm gonna go get, this is what it would look like-ish, already pre-textured. We're gonna do that again. Let me fix the opacity again.
Cool.
And draw over it. So I'm gonna select the brush. I imported the brushes from, I bought them. You guys can totally check it out. It's from True Grit Texture Supply on Instagram.
Nice.
Or they have a website. They're really popular with texture brushes. Completely worth it. It's transformed my work. Again, not sponsored. I'm a big fan, and it really helped my work.
True Grit. True Grit gets a shout out a lot here. Actually, he's he's actually an Australian.
Yeah, he is
the guy that runs that, living in the UK. But yeah, great texture packs to use. You can use them in all sorts of apps. Stuff. Yeah.
Here we go. Continuous tone brushes there. I always use just the simple stuff. This one we use this one. Okay, perfect. Yeah. When I'm texturing a piece and you kind of wonder where do you put the textures exactly, I use it as a shading tool. So everything that I didn't shade earlier, I will shade using the texture. Just again, add a little bit more flair, a little bit more detail. So all these ant lines. So. The cool thing about the texture brushes that I use anyway is that they're pretty much fixed. I don't know what the term is, but they're fixed, so you can see the opacity. The ones behind it are just going directly over it.
Right.
The layers are fixed. So you don't have to worry about overlapping. If I go over this and I go over it again, they're not going to overlap, so you don't have to worry about it. Whoa, what happened there?
That's cool. So you can just like be fairly loose with it all.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about, I have to be careful or else they're going to overlap. It's going to ruin the whole thing.
Yeah.
Go and have fun.
I was thinking about the worst superhero powers, and I was just thinking about there's this one comic in the Marvel universe where there's this like one mutant that has a power where he just like kills everybody around him, and Wolverine ends up just ends up putting him down.
Who is that?
I don't know his name. He didn't last long enough to really get involved. I don't think it's canon, but there's definitely a series on it.
Oh, okay.
And I also thought Squirrel Girl is a very strange character. She can just command legions of squirrels. She's super powerful. She's like beating up Thanos or something.
That's the power of squirrels, dude.
Yeah. Maybe it's like more useful in New York or something where there's like heaps of squirrels.
Okay, think about this. What can squirrels do? They can survive long falls. So imagine the travel. I'm going home, and then she just leaps. Instead of right, she can. What else can squirrels do? Sleep for long periods of time, hibernation. So she never has to worry about getting enough sleep. She gets enough sleep.
They can climb. They can climb things really well.
Yeah, and they can fly. Some of them can fly. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, we don't have squirrels here in the Philippines, but I think they can fly.
So would she have powers if she came to the Philippines, or would she have to be around squirrels?
That's interesting. I think she's like Spider-Man, where they have the powers are inherent.
Fair enough.
Oh, okay.
I realize I'm going to get a lot of the squirrel girls. Sorry, you gone? Talking about stupid.
Yeah, a lot of hate on that. Hey, squirrel girls, legit.
Yeah.
Whoa, my internet connection's unstable. Sorry, guys. You guys still see me?
Yeah, you still look good over here.
Okay. Wait, we'll cut off. I'm just texturing a bunch of these little colors. If you want to really maximize the stuff, you can do it here as well. Behind something. I would usually put the textures into a separate layer, but just, you know, to save some time and space. This one.
Nice.
So yeah. There we go. And then I have another texture brush. So you want to mix up your textures. At least for me, I use a lot of them. Maybe too much sometimes. So aside from the tones, I also use this grain shader, which helps put more like it's less of the dots, more of this rough texture. It really helps though. Grain shader. There we go. Perfect.
Nice.
Definitely, I would mostly use this with the dark lines, just to.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you often
more
change
of a gradient type, less than the dots?
Do you often change much of the settings in the when you're doing like with the brushes, or do you use them like pretty much out of the box, like as they come?
I change the settings when I need to. So this one actually, I changed the size of the grain just to go proportionately, because sometimes it's too small. See if I can do that. Here, you can go to brush settings, change up size, and then changes the size of the grain.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, the texture, scales down how much grit you get. So just some of that. You can always play around, and the true grit brushes, they allow you to do that. Like he encourages for you to play around with it, because it's really about what you can do. So yeah.
Cool.
Just get some of these little shadow areas real quick.
Yeah, there's a lot of love for Squirrel Girl in there. I retract my previous statement.
You're getting a lot of comments for Squirrel Girl.
There's just a lot of support for Squirrel Girl. It's cool, guys. Shading and halftones texture is pretty well used technique in manga, right? Is that where you drew inspiration from? That's a question from Johanna in chat.
Yeah, manga and comics. So I did grow up a bit of an anime guy. Yeah, they actually have in manga, they used to have these stickers of halftones that they would just cut out into shapes and then paste onto the drawings, which I found really cool. And that's actually when I first started doing texturing. When I saw that technique, I thought, okay, how can I do this but digitally? Because I was starting all my digital stuff at the time, and I found these brushes. I thought, okay, I'm gonna draw on that idea and try to make something fun.
Nice, that's cool. I didn't actually know that. So they used to have like physical stickers that were printed, and then they would cut them out in the shape they needed it, and then just put them over, and they were like clear or something. That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Scan and print. Yeah, they're clear. They're clear. You can actually buy some now on Amazon. I forgot the brand because I haven't bought some myself, but they are available now.
Oh.
And Yeah, they're clear. They come in black, and then several different types of tones. So sometimes they're really close, really small, and then other times they're really larger tones like this. So yeah, actually, this would be mostly the done piece. The only thing left is to really clean up. So when I'm done with a piece, I look around and see what can be fixed. You know, everything. You don't see a piece until it's done, and then you look back and kind of squint a bit. Is what I do, and look for what could be improved, especially the composition. So I'm seeing like this piece of the yellow is still over the truck. So I'll just delete that really quick. That's wrong. There we go.
So you're just coming back in with the eraser tool, just like clean up some of the lines, get rid of some of those. Like you're literally going in and editing like almost pixel by pixel there. So you're getting really fine into the detail.
I'm one of those that I really get into the details of my work. I know some people that aren't, and they would find this kind of tediousness tedious, but this is just how I like it. I really like to make sure things are clean, because at the end of the day, when you're making artwork, the person you're trying to impress the most is yourself. So that's some deep advice I learned a couple years back, that, you know, especially in the digital age, like now it's all social media, it's all this and that. You could easily get caught up trying to make artwork for the likes, for the shares, for the follows. But it's also equally important that you're impressing yourself, that you're making artwork to find joy in yourself. So I find that if I'm not impressed with my work, I'm not sharing it to the world. So
nice.
And it doesn't matter if the world thinks my techniques are weird, like this, like just going over everything, but I'm my first and biggest critic, and you have to please yourself.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good way to think about it. I think it's really hard for creatives in general to, you know, you can open an app on your phone and look at like 50,000 amazing bits of work.
Oh yeah.
Like
social media has made it very difficult for artists to feel secure or safe, or I forgot the term, but because everything's online, and there's so many great artists online, there's such great art online, you get caught up like, how come I'm not as good as they are? But try not to think about that. Try to, instead of thinking I'm not as good as they are, I quit, think I want to be as good as they are and work on it. That's my philosophy on it.
That's cool.
I'm just cleaning up some of these jagged lines so that when artwork gets posted, I'll know I clean up everything. It'll go in my head that things fine. I'm probably gonna touch this up again after this live, just to fix everything else where I put it online.
That's cool. Well, yeah. So we've got about 6 minutes. So if anyone has any final questions as we're finishing up. Will you finish this up? Will you post this? Will we be able to check out the final bit? You don't have to, but
yeah, I will.
Nice.
I'd like to, and so people can see it. And I'll talk a bit about the live.
Nice. Cool. Cool to see. It's been great having a look behind the scenes. And also I should mention as well, like this is part of a campaign. So you guys can grab exactly this image that Jappy is using as a canvas. Johanna will share the link in chat, and you can check it out. We'd love to see it as well. So if you want to have your take on doing a digital mural, you can check out, if you look at the hashtag Your World, Your Canvas, you can see some of the examples that some creatives around the world have done, including Jappy's artwork is up there. Jappy's done it twice now, so you've got this one and you've got his other version as well. There's a great process video on that too, so check that out. And if you do, share it with us. Probably the best place is in our Discord. So you can join our Discord. There's a link down below if you're watching on Behance or YouTube, just down there. Jump on in, share it with us and we can check it out. We'd love to see it. And you can share it obviously on social media as well. And if you're in Asia Pacific, there's all these crazy prizes. So why not have a go?
Yeah, you can make great art and you won't lose anything really if you join. Nothing to lose, and it's a great opportunity to learn how to do artwork on digital murals like this. It's pretty cool. And I think that should do it for now. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go back over it later.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the final piece.
This is cool, man. I love this. I love seeing your process. There was so much that I learned about this as well. Like I know about the ease of going from iPad to the desktop now with the cloud, because we've had enough people on here that utilize it, and then they don't have to worry about like final version 7, final version 7, like all that sort of stuff. It's like, cool, just keep it in the ecosystem, which is really cool, particularly illustrators who want to draw, you know, on an iPad or on a stylus of some kind, and then bring it in for final touches to utilize like everything that's involved. But yeah, like some of my takeaways, like the shadows is really cool. Like I haven't heard anyone kind of put into words the idea about the shadows, like the depth. Talked about the movement of the noodles coming along there. It's like, yeah, this, you know, there's even a shadow, even though it's much more subtle, in the, what do we call it? The broth, like dripping down.
Yeah, right here.
So it's subtle, and if you didn't mention it, I might not have seen it, but it does add that depth and adds some realism to it. Drawing the whole body to get the anatomy right. Man, it's been great. Like I've learned a lot myself, and I hope everybody else has too.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I actually post a lot of process videos on my Instagram also, so yeah, check that out. Yeah, and if you have any questions after, I'm always answering questions on IG. Just DM me, and if I have the time, I'll answer.
Man, that's super cool. Johanna will share a link to Jappy's Instagram feed as well. Like if you don't have that, definitely check it out. Crazy beautiful work, Jappy. It's been a pleasure having you on Adobe Live, and we hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. This was fun.
Thanks, mate. All right, see everybody, and have a great day or evening. See you later.
Bye, guys.